UBQ has developed a advanced waste conversion technology where we're able to actually take completely unsorted waste and convert it into basically a bio-based composite material that can substitute or replace plastics and wood in thousands of different types of products. So it's almost too good to be true. We're actually taking waste, the waste that's coming from your house, converting it into this brand new material. So we're shredding it, we're grinding it, we're drying it, and then we're reconstituting it into a brand new material that previously never existed before, that you can then use in conventional manufacturing to produce the everyday materials. The amazing thing really is that leveraging these third-generation waste feedstocks has an amazing environmental impact, where we're actually reducing 15 tons of CO2 for every 1 ton of our material compared to, let's say, conventional materials, which amongst a lot of different types of, let's say, benefits, makes our material so much more enticing and commercially viable as a scalable solution today.
Quite a mighty statement to start off with. Pause it there,
yeah.
And we'll move over to Sandra. Sandra, tell us what is it that you're involved with?
Sure. So I'm Sandra Sassow of SEAB Energy, and we have developed a containerized appliance that can sit at the building level. And I've brought a short animation. I don't know, are we running it now? Yeah? So can you run the video, please?
Do you know where your waste goes and how it gets there? Why do we move waste? Wouldn't it make sense to turn your waste into something useful without moving it? Think of the energy saved and the resulting decrease in carbon emissions. Here at SEAB Energy, that is precisely what we do.
We replace waste trucks with our patented award-winning anaerobic digestion systems.
The FlexiBuster and MuckBuster, which turn your food waste and sewage into fuel. We've made an appliance that every building should have, and which every island could use, and which is able to create power for millions, anywhere in the world. Load your food waste into the FlexiBuster every day and the system does the rest. The software manages the flow of your waste through the mouth, into the buffer tank to wait until the bacteria are hungry, and finally into the digester where the bacteria eat it. This process makes biogas, fertilizer and water from your waste. You can use the biogas to create electricity, heating and cooling. The FlexiBuster can convert between 200 and 1,000 tons of waste per year into fuel, eliminating harmful emissions and odors in the process. FlexiBuster reduces your costs, enhances your sustainability, and offsets carbon, all in a fully automated box. So, just why are you paying someone to move your waste? The recognized leader in on-site waste management. At SEAB, we turn your waste into water and energy.
Okay, so that's what we do. It's so much prettier as an animation than trying to explain to you. We put it in a box and we put it in a building, but we're in 4 countries around the world and we're converting waste on-site into energy, producing up to 50% of the energy that the building needs. So why are you paying someone to move your waste?
Great, short and sweet. Again, we pause it there. Over to Alexandre, intrigued to hear what it is you do. Have you got a video?
No, I don't have any video.
You have to tell us.
What do we do is a closed loop collection, bio-waste collection system, which is the same question I just discovered now. But we want to make the trucks disappear from our street. So we think that the behavior of the citizens will change a lot if the bio-waste is changed very near from their home. If it's in a black box very far from the city, nobody will change, and it will be very difficult to make the selection at the beginning. So we started 18 months ago. We have 2 sites, and we are opening 4 sites in Paris and in Lyon, so in France for now. And we have quite a lot of research and development projects about diapers, about bioplastic composting system, and so on.
Great. So there we have it. So compost, plastics, and energy. Three very different things indeed, but certainly making good use of them indeed. So we go back to you, Christopher. So how is it possible to turn pretty much unsorted waste into homogeneous bio-based composite material? How on earth do you do that?
Well, it was an amazing challenge. It was more of a manifesto of, is it even possible? And so we spent a lot of time and money to be able to, let's say, investigate it. And what we realized was that when you look at garbage, it's not all these different types of things. It's actually, let's say, 80% cellulose and lignin, and it's about 20%, let's say, plastics. And so we've been able to activate the food waste, the banana peels and the chicken bones and the hamburgers, and make that actually convert and speak with the different types of plastics and the dirty diapers and the paper and the cardboard, and convert that into that homogeneous
You make
material.
it sound so simple.
There's
so
a lot
easy.
of hardcore science behind it.
bet
I'm
there
not
is.
the scientist, but we've really been blessed to work with some amazing specialists, from Nobel Prize winners in biochemistry to really specific polymer experts, to be able to figure out how can we make these different activations, both mechanical and chemical reactions, to make all of that actually work, to be a robust solution for where there are no solutions, because we need more recycling. But when 40% of waste is not even collected, we need more solutions that provide that economically viable solution so that there are reasons to collect and do the right things.
So literally, you're discovering things that other technologies have unseen previously. You're discovering completely new ways of doing things that nobody else has been doing. Or is there anybody else doing what you're doing?
I think there's a lot of companies or technologies that have tried, both big and small. I think we took a very different approach. We're talking about seeing how we blend it all together and seeing if we could actually develop something viable from that. The solution is that we have a patent on the actual material. So we have developed a material that never existed before. And that is how we can actually help create a commercially viable material that companies want to actually implement.
Very intriguing indeed. Moving over to Sandra. So, in terms of a city like Paris, so an example of how, I'm just thinking here in Paris, how can that system kind of work here? Can you give us an example of how that system could work here in Paris?
So absolutely. So we're working with cities around the world. We actually had the mayor's delegation come by.
Which cities are you working with? Where?
So we have one in Lille. So it's not quite Paris, but it's almost, as we found out. But it's so we can incorporate ourselves into an actual building. So think here, even Station F, with all of the restaurant waste coming out the back, the preparation waste from all the lovely meals that we're all having back there. You could put that directly into one of our machines that would sit next to the building and power the lights here on the stage from that. You could take the water from the waste, because that food waste is 80% water. So for every 1,000 kilograms of waste, you're getting 800 liters of water back. So where we've all seen in the toilets, it's not potable water. You could put the same water back into the toilet system in Station F and make it a closed loop environment for the site. So, and we would take the compostable materials that are being used for all of us who have not brought, and I'm going to show everybody what I would like to see next time we come here. I'd like to see everybody with a reusable water bottle, not necessarily this brand, but could you please not have plastic cups? So I'm going to
You agree with that one?
My 2 cents in.
Yeah, we do.
So,
We agree with that one.
yeah, it's not my business, but next time, please, reusable bottles, everybody here.
Change now, perhaps.
Yeah,
There you are. There's an
Change
opportunity
Now.
there. Branded bottles.
Yes, please. Branded bottle. I was
Buy them
expecting
all
to get
one year and come back with them the next. How about that?
Exactly.
Okay. Right.Moving on, Alexandre. I'm just interested to know, like, who's actually going to buy the compost?
We have 3 kind of people who want to buy our compost. People, you can buy our compost just near in a BioCop, if you know the, and you can buy our compost not in a bag but in bulk. So you just have to buy compost as much as you need and not a big bag with your car. There's another target is urban farming. Another example is just 400 meters from here. It's urban farming on the top of a monoprix, and they will cultivate saffron. Saffron, you know? Okay. So the saffron is much, the price of the saffron is much higher than gold. So with your bio waste and with our compost, we will make saffron. So this is why we are called the Alchemists. And the last part is when you move a lot of mud to make a big building. This mud is without life because it was very down in the soil. And when you mix it with compost, which is very rich in organic materials, yes, you can make this mud fertile again. So you fertilize the very, very big amount of soil, which was very deep. So this is our three clients.
Okay.
Now.
So I understand you've conducted research about composting, bioplastics, and diapers. Is that right?
Yes.
Tell us more about the going backwards, taking a step back from where it all started. A little bit more about the results of this research.
We have two research with a laboratory of CNRS in Lyon and 5 partners here in France about 2 subjects. The first one is diapers, and Eric told quite a bit about that. And we really think that the 100 compostable diaper is not far. 1 year ago, we were thinking it would be within 6 or 7 years, but now it will be within 2 or 3 years maximum, I think so. So we want to organize a collection system and composting system for all these 100% compostable diapers, and it will come very soon. And the second question is about the bioplastic. I had lunch here with a PLA forks and knife, and after that you put it in a bin, and it will be incinerated. So it's compostable, but it will be burned. So it's nonsense. So we are working with CTO, which is a big enterprise here in France, to open the system and the cycle to the compostable plastic.
So it really does sound like clearly all 3 of you are actually moving very well and smoothly. Maybe not smoothly, but very well in the right direction. When I say smoothly, I'm thinking of the barriers. So if there's one barrier, I'm sure naturally with all of us entrepreneurs, all of us taking our ideas forward, there are barriers, ups and downs along the way all the time. But if there was one thing that you could just eliminate to help your business, help the idea go forward quicker, what would that be?
That's a great question, because it's always the magical one. I think for
imagine you have got a magic wand and you can just bang and then it's gone. What would that be?
I would make there 2. The first thing, and it comes back to the plastic cups and the whole concept of a disposable society. Collection is a major function in waste. The more that we actually collect and we separate source at the home, that is where the crowd today, the general public, has an enormous impact on the way and the economics behind the waste stream itself. So if I could do something, I would do that. For my company as well, the way that we're able to scale is we're going into a plastic industry that is super conservative. They've tried things. They've really, really tried to be able to use different materials, and it hasn't worked. And so for us, that's a big challenge. When I tell them that this is garbage, they're not seeing a plastic material, they're thinking garbage. And you're not gonna put garbage into my expensive Italian equipment that's manufacturing products 24 hours a day. So I need to convince to them that this actually works. So we developed and put in manufacturing equipment where we can actually show them, this is your product, we can make it with our material. So there are challenges, but nothing is impossible, it's not improbable, we just have to show them that it is. So an open ear, take one more listen, don't judge a book by a cover or by a previous bad experience. Every company is really trying to do their best. So whether it's a small step or a big step, an interval or,
Okay, great. Sandra, what would you say?
I'd like it to not include collection. I'd like to decentralize. So one of the things that's really key for me is for the procurement process for companies and governments to actually look at the fact that when they're procuring, they go out now and they compare collection services. They don't look at on-site processing. So if part of that has to do with legislation, but if you don't include all of the available types of solutions in the process when you're going out to decide what to do, well, then you're obviously going to get a collection service. So I guess my request would be for procurement to change at the government level, and for summits like this to really engage with city planning and legislation and get the legislation changed to allow for in-city farming, composting, in-building production of gas, and reuse of waste on site. All of the things that are now currently requiring us to just continue with this collect, move, recycle, maybe, separate, and do all of that. Let's rethink it completely and bring it back to the local level.
Alexandre?
One thing only. I would say lobbies, because if we need trucks, it's not we need trucks, it's because we have two leaders in France, two big companies, and they have bought a lot of trucks, many trucks, and they have to drive their trucks. If they don't drive their trucks, what do they do? So, lobbies, yes,
Okay.
because if you, it's in a very monopolistic sector, like waste management, it's very hard to move the line.
Okay. All right, we're kind of coming towards the end of our time together this afternoon. But as you know, Change Now, all about making a change, all about actually doing things rather than just talking. What can the audience do? People that are looking, again, online, they're looking back at this session. They're here in this hall. What can these guys do to help? What would you say?
Put one of my machines in your building, where you live or where you work. If your company has waste, organic waste, I'd like to put my machine in your building. So get in touch with me. We have a stand right here in the back of the hall. Please come and get in touch.
If you have a building.
And I would almost say that you're not really recycling if you're not buying recycled. So whether it's stone paper or polycarbonates or materials like ours, actively use your purchasing power as a citizen to support companies like ours, whether it's biodegradable diapers or materials like ours. And remember, the power of the mosquito. So never think that you're too small to make a change.
Like that.
Water bottles.
We got Power the Mosquito water bottles. Alexandre?
I would say plant strawberries, tomatoes, and flowers, because the town, the city will be much brighter, much better, and you will need our compost.